purification. All the evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and folly, born of my body, mouth, and thought, I now confess and purify them all.
Gateless Gate, Case 14. Nansen cut the cat in two. Nansen Osho saw monks of the eastern and western halls quarreling over a cat. He held up the cat and said, "If you can give an answer, I will save the cat. If not, I will kill it." No one could answer, and Nansen cut the cat in two. That evening, Joshu returned, and Nansen told him of the incident. Joshu took off his sandal, placed it on his head, and walked out. "If you had been there, you could have saved the cat," Nansen remarked. Mumon's comment: "Tell me, what did Joshu mean when he put the sandal on his head? If you can give a turning word on this, you'll see that Nansen's decree and was carried out with good reason, if not danger." Mumon's verse: "Had Joshu been there, he would have done the opposite. When the sword is snatched away, even Nansen begs for his life." If you wish, you can face toward me. So on June the 3rd, 1961, Ven.Gempo Roshi passed away. He was 96 years old. I was truly lucky that I spent a few years with him at the Ryutakuji. So many, indeed many unforgettable memories and not only memories, influential teachings are still in my mind. I said lucky, maybe fortunate is better. Suppose someone practice Zen Buddhism, and suppose he or she did not have sort of congenial teacher or sangha, his or her Zazen practice is sort of limited, say sitting, walking, and chanting. Of course, sitting, walking, and chanting are the essentials of the practice. But what I learned from Gempo Roshi, he did not teach me how to do Zazen. He did not teach me how to walk. He did not teach me how to use Keisaku. He did not teach me how to chant sutra. All these, what I have said, I learned from someone else, various teachers. But what he taught me, I learned from him either directly, that is to say, face to face, or indirectly through his books, which is not so many. And what I learned is quite difficult to describe, but let me try. We live in this planet, and there are many different peoples, and they have different ideology. At Ryutakuji, when Gempo Roshi was abbot, many politicians came for asking his advice or guidance. So there was a bunch of right wing and a bunch of left wing, and they are well known and influential people. So from our point of view, right wing, politically right wing, and left wing are totally different. But what he says, Gempo Roshi says, his point of view is different. That is to say, he says, one day, does universe has left or right? And when it comes to this short statement, of course, the answer is obviously no. No right, no left. And then he did not quote, but everybody knows this quotation from Dogen Zenji. He said, to learn Buddha Dharma is to learn the self. To learn the self is to forget the self. Now, not in the ordinary sense, to forget, but when this is the quotation what Ven.Gempo Roshi said, when we just concentrate year after year, decade after decade, this self, or ego maybe say, may become smaller and smaller, and one day we realize that we have been living in deception. The ego does exist. This is deception. We have been deceived, and yet we don't want to acknowledge. And especially modern days, this tendency is so strong. So to forget the self is so difficult. Easy to be forgetful, but the main substance, self, cannot be forgotten. But that substance exists, and that becomes forgetful. That is very popular, right? The Alzheimer is one of the case, and when we become a certain age, we become sort of forgetful. I know so many people, and whenever I go to the party, so the people come and with great smile, oh, nice to see you for a long time. And well, I cannot ask, who are you? So I have to pretend as if, yeah, that's good. And then I was thinking, who could that be? And it takes 2 or 3 days. Oh, so it's becoming more and more, year after year, that forgetfulness increases. Nice to see you. Yeah, very good. Haven't seen you. I am sure you have similar, not as much as I do. But that is not what Gempo Roshi was saying, what Dogen Zenji is saying. Forget yourself, not to forget him, his name. Don't forget her name. So, in one place, after in this Teisho, in this text, that evening, Joshu returned and Nansen told him of the incident. Joshu took off his sandal, placed it on his head, and walked out. If you had been there, you could have saved the cat, Nansen remarked. For this, Gempo Roshi said, if you truly understand Joshu's seemingly strange action, you not only saved the cat, you can no longer waste even a drop of water. You can no longer waste even 1 second of your precious time. This, when I heard that part, of course my Zazen was very immature, and of course my mind was occupied whether Nansen actually killed the cat or not. And according to the text, it said killed. So my mind was occupied about this first part. But he did not pay too much attention whether Nansen killed the cat or not. He told his beloved student, Joshu, and Joshu just, it's a strange action, removed his sandals and placed it on the head and walked away. And upon seeing that action, Joshu's teacher Nansen remarked, "Wow, if you had been there, I didn't have to kill the cat." And then Gempo Roshi said, I still vividly remember that incident. If you understand that point, you cannot waste the grain of rice, drop of water, a second of time. If, on the other hand, if you don't understand Joshu's action, you waste your time, your life, on many things. So, but still, he may be true, and it is true, but for us, it is so different. Then he came to a more comprehensible presentation. That is Nansen cut the cat. Cut the cat. Our Zazen is just and he continued to do this about a minute. Many thoughts come and go. So it's to do pure sitting without thoughts, without disturbing the ideas, is rather rare. I get up every day at 5 o'clock, and from 5:15 to my own morning service, and then 1 hour zazen. And the place where I am living now, is quite quiet, so almost no noise. Just like living in a deep mountain. So at the end of Zazen, I could go into this condition where no cutting is necessary. No cutting is necessary. But he was talking to the monks. Some of them were quite young or immature, with lots of ideas, thoughts, so on. So instead of saying using the nonsense cut the cat, he said and the voice was increasing, not only when that recorded cut, C-U-T, is printed, it becomes just a cut, right? Yes. This and if it is repeated nearly 1 minute or so, the actual his voice and transcribed his saying are completely two different things. And that's why I was so grateful to the opportunity that I was able to hear Gempo Roshi's. He was nearly, at that time he was nearly 91 or 2. He died at the age of 96. So when I heard he must be 90 or 91. Anyway, and one unforgettable statement which allow me to repeat. If you understand this Joshu's seemingly strange action, which his teacher Nansen remarked, if you had been there, I did not have to cut the cat into two. And not only, Ven.Gempo Roshi continues, not only cat, but even a drop of water you can no longer waste. Even a grain of rice you can no longer waste. Even a second of time you can no longer waste. Then, at that time, you are truly fully alive, like Zen Sho's name is fully alive. You know, among maybe some of you know the book is called Zen Koans. This was combined effort by Sasaki Miura Roshi and Ruth Sasaki, and it was published. Publisher is not the First Zen Institute, but anyway, I have been reading original Miura Roshi's talk, and I must say this is really authentic, traditional. And since I have known Miura Roshi so intimately, I'm glad I have a chance to read his original text in Japanese. But Miura Roshi's lineage and my lineage are different, and Genpo Roshi's style of teaching and Miura Roshi's style of teaching are naturally different. Miura Roshi was constantly telling me, look, ikko hanko, ikko hanko. Ikko means one, and if not half. Ichi means one. One individual is one. And if not, half. Maybe this is, in English, it doesn't make any sense. But if you cannot produce one good Dharma student, forget it. And even half or 1/3, this is the meaning. And with various reasons, he left First Zen Institute and had a small apartment on 72nd Street off Lexington Avenue. and he had only 5 students, and they really dedicated their lives for his being, and throughout their lives they all did nothing but that is so there are many Zen books, and the key point is what I have been telling you. Just comprehend the essence. What is the meaning? It's nothing to do with a cat. Whether it is against the rule or not, that's not the point. The key point is universe. When self or ego is extinguished, only this universe remains, where there is no left, no right, no north, no south. And in that cannot waste anything. And this is the Ven.Gempo Roshi's style of teaching. And he said, I will not die. And even though I said he passed away on June the 3rd, 1961, I used the word passed away. He did not die, he's still alive. And particularly today, he is talking through me. So, other than this, normally always Mumonkan's comment is more important than the verse, case. Here, Mumonkan's case. Tell me, what did Joshu mean when he put the sandal on his head? Everybody wants to know. If you can give a turning word on this, you'll see Nansen's decree was carried out with good reason. If not, danger. And thus, had Joshu been there, he would have done the opposite. When the sword is snatched away, even Nansen begged for his life. Nansen was Joshu's teacher, and he's the one. Their relationship, teacher-student relationship, was one of the most remarkable one. But the key point, really key point, is unexplainable. Okay? what is the meaning of this. But if you understand this, you can no longer waste. Even drop of water. And I have to be a little more humble about myself, but approaching the age of 85, now at last started to understand, this is what Gempo Roshi was trying to guide us. So, not yet, but if I live 10 more years, 11 more years, then I'll be his age, right? So, and if I continue daily Zazen, and if we continue our monthly Zazenkai, 1 decade from now, we'll be all enlightened, and Zensho will know the real meaning